Hello everyone. So, I've had the wonderful opportunity to travel to Singapore for a week. I'm about halfway through right now, and I thought it'd be useful to just do a quick video about what's in my camera bag, what have I got with me, any particular accessories, that type of thing. Just before we get into this, I'm currently being recorded on a Z6 with a Z-mount 35mm f1.8 at around about f4, so that you can see some of this lovely background. It's quite a view up here. So first of all, I have a Z7 with me. I also have a Z6, which is currently being used to record this video. So they're the two bodies that I've brought with me, a Z7 and a Z6. When it comes to lenses, I have the Z series 24-70 f4, the new Z 50mm f1.8. This lens is unbelievable. I have the f-mount 105 f1.4, possibly, with the risk of running some arguments in the comment section, possibly the best portrait lens ever, even compared to the 200mm f2. I also then have a 28mm f1.4 f-mount prime. Really love this lens. I really do enjoy shooting with a 28mm focal length. I can't really tell you why, I just love the look that it gives me. On the back of that is an FTZ adapter, just keep one on there. And then, because my main expectation of coming to Singapore was to shoot kind of landscape, cityscape stuff, but always in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, what wildlife opportunities might there be? And you never know. I've never been to Singapore before, so wasn't quite sure what to expect. So I'll always bring with me the 500 5.6. It's so small and lightweight, I can just pack that in my backpack, and yeah, it's something that I can just carry with me at all times, and if I need to use it, I can. And if I don't use it, I don't feel like I've wasted all my energy carrying around something so big and heavy that I didn't really need to use. And on the back of that, again, I've got another FTZ adapter. Also, on the front of the Z6 that's currently recording me right now is the 35mm f1.8 Z-mount lens. Okay, so what backpack do I carry with me to keep all that kit in there? I have an Osprey Hike-Like 26, and I found the brightest color I could. One of the things that you'll find out about me is I love bright colored objects. So this bag is extremely lightweight. There's no weight to this whatsoever. I think it's either a kilo or slightly less than a kilo. But the biggest appeal to me is that it is extremely comfortable. I've bought tons of camera bags in my career, and I could go through and make a video on all of them, and this is the most comfortable backpack I've ever owned because it's a hiking backpack first and foremost, okay? It has this really nice suspension system that you can put my hand through here, and it keeps the back of the bag off your back. Especially in a hot climate like this is particularly useful. Now, the bag itself is obviously a hiking backpack. It's not designed to be used as a camera backpack, so the main opening is just one big empty space. There's no inserts in here, there's no padding. It's literally just a hiking backpack, and you then have one extra pocket up at the top, which is filled with an anti-scratch kind of soft material. And then you have an expandable stuff pocket at the front. Now, I use this backpack because it's so light and it's so comfortable. In terms of protection of my kit, I have to add an insert to do that. So I use the Temba, if I say this correctly, BYOB 10 DSLR. Okay, they do a mirrorless version, and this is the DSLR version, which is a bit thicker. Gives me a bit more depth to the unit, which I find really useful. Even though I put mirrorless cameras in this, I'd still opt for the DSLR version just to give me that extra bit of thickness. And that fits into my hike-like backpack really well. We have two stretch pockets on both sides, and then When I open that, I have a zip pocket at the top and then plenty of storage for all of my kit. Now, surprisingly, I can fit a lot of kit into this single unit. So in this unit, I might carry a number of different things. Depends on what I'm going to go and shoot for the day. If I think I need to take the 500mm, the 500mm lens will fit in this unit, okay? So I can pop the 500mm down one side. I could then have my camera on the other side with the 24-70 on the front of it. I could also then fit in the 35mm and the 50mm f1.8. If I know that I'm just going to go and shoot some landscape stuff or some cityscape stuff, I would then say that I don't need to carry the 500mm with me, so I can then take a larger quantity of lenses. So I might then decide that I'm going to take the Z7, the Z6 as well. I might then decide that I'm going to take the 24-70, the 35, the 50mm, and then either the 28 or the 105 that I can fit into my insert. And then the others I can then pack into other areas of the bag if I need to. So next comes to tripods. Carry with me a Joby Gorilla Pod, just in case, especially if I'm shooting in areas where big tripods just aren't practical. I can then pop this down and put my little mirrorless Z7 on front of that. And then I also have a really small flat fold pocket Manfrotto tripod that folds its little legs out like this and it sits flat. You can then extend the legs so that it can go slightly flat as well. And this is just if I need a very quick, small stand for my camera to take with me. Now, this is not going to hold the camera with the 500mm on or anything like that. So it's for use with a light system. And you have to understand the limitations of this unit, but it is extremely useful in really tight, small situations. If I can pop this on top of something like a ledge or a building, on the side of a building, something like that, I can then have this just to hold the camera there for me if I need to, for either a long exposure or maybe for a quick bit of video recording. The set of filters that I've decided to take with me to Singapore is a set of NISI filters, and to use those filters, I have a NISI V5 Pro holder. So the way that that is assembled is, first of all, you have a main attachment ring. So this is a 72mm attachment ring. It attaches to my 24-70 f4. I also have a 77mm attachment ring in case I want to attach that to my 28mm f1.4. And then you have an outer ring that attaches to. Now this outer ring is an 82mm thread. And it also has a very small built-in twist system for twisting a circular polarizer. So you can screw in a polarizer into this middle section, and you can then twist the circle polarizer if you needed to. Okay? This ring will screw into your 72mm step-down ring, and then the attachment that sits on the front is the main filter holder itself. So three main parts that I'm using at the moment, all nicely attached together, and I can then twist this around if I need to twist my filters in any way, okay? And you have this nice pin release just to use on the side. I currently have 3 slots in the holder. I've never really used more than 2, it's just I've never got around to removing the 3rd slot at the front yet. Mainly I'm using either a grad and then a full ND filter behind that, so 2 filters at a time. So that's my holder, and that will then mainly be used on the 24-70. Then my filters to go with that, so I have them in a little hard plastic NISI case. If they did this in black, that'd be amazing. I just prefer black, or maybe like a bright orange, or a bright lime green. Just throwing it out there. So I have 5 filters in my holder. What we'll start with is I have 2 grads. I have a 1.2 medium graduated filter. I also then have a 0.9 medium graduated filter. For those of you that don't understand what the medium refers to, you have soft, medium and hard graduated filters, and it depends on how quickly it goes from clear to then dark. And obviously with soft, it then softly transitions, medium, slightly harsher transition. And then with a hard, you have a really kind of clear-cut line where it then goes from clear to then dark. Depending on what you're shooting, soft, medium, or hard would be more useful. In front of that, I then have 3 ND filters. So first off, I have my 15-stop ND filter, and this is one of my favorites. I love shooting really long exposures, getting some great movement in clouds, traffic trails, anything like that, and especially in really bright locations like this. That 15-stop filter allows me to shoot for minutes at a time if I need to. It's a full filter with padding on the back, and you sit this in the back of the holder to make sure the padding is snug fit to the holder to stop any light leakage through the holder and then the filter itself. I then also have a 10-stop and an 8-stop. And these are all 100mm filters. So because I've not decided to bring the 14 to 24 with me, I can use just the 100mm system. If I did bring the 14 to 24 with me, I'd be having to use the larger 150mm filter set. So the next thing, which is something that's not really that important but really close to my heart, lens cloths. And I have quite a few. So first of all, I have this little Nikon branded pouch, which has a little pull-out cloth, which I really like. And because it has a little clip on it, generally I leave this on the outside of my backpack, clip it to one of my straps, for example. I then have this much larger Nikon branded cloth, which I really like. I really like the idea of larger cloths because I can use them for loads of different things if I need to. I can wrap things up in them, and I can then use them to get rid of water as well if I need to as well. And then if I need a small cloth at any point, I have a Nikon school one. One last cloth that I like to use is the actual Nikon pouches that come with the new Z mount lenses. These are really useful. We can use them to pop little things in there, and then we can also use them as a nice kind of cleaning cloth as well. Just really useful for either storing lenses or storing accessories. I'm also carrying a couple of extra batteries with me. In terms of storage, I've got plenty of XQD cards, 128 gig cards, also 64 gigabyte cards. You never know how much you're going to shoot or record. And then in terms of external storage to like my computer, I mainly try and run with SSDs because of how I travel. I'll have SSDs with me as I'm traveling because then they can be thrown in a backpack, thrown into a suitcase, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas when I'm at home, I'll have like a desk hard drive that I can keep all my main stuff on, and I don't really need to take that hard drive off my desk. So the 2 SSDs that I've been using are a Samsung T5. It's extremely quick, has this really nice metal exterior, and it just works really well for me because it's USB-C to USB-C, which connects straight to my MacBook Pro. This is a 500 gigabyte unit. I also then have the new Sandisk SSD. So this is a Sandisk Extreme portable SSD. This is also 500 gigabyte. It's kind of built with this nice rubber exterior rather than the metal one. So I don't mind putting this in the bag with other metal objects because I know that it's not going to scratch other things because of the rubber out exterior. And it also has this really nice clip lock that I can then hook onto like a carabiner clip or hook onto the outside of my bag and not worry about it. Also USB-C as well. So they're my 2 main SSD drives that I'll carry with me just so I can store all the pictures I'm taking, all the videos that I'm shooting externally, away from the memory cards, away from my computer if I need to. I also like to carry waterproof bags with me. You never know. Now, backpack does have a rain cover, but if you really, really want to make sure that something in your bag is not going to get wet, this is a small one. I also have a large one as well. I can then literally open this backpack up, drop my stuff in there, and then close this back down and clip it shut. And this gives me a nice airtight and also then watertight bag that I can carry some of my kit in. I have in the past, if it's raining hard or I don't have enough space, what I'll do is I'll fill this with like a lens or some accessories, fold it up, and then clip it to the outside of my backpack and carry what is ever in here on the outside of my bag. The camera strap on the side of my Nikon Z7, this is a Joby hand strap. I really like this hand strap. It's the best one that I've used so far. Really nice and secure, takes a lot of weight. And then you have the main unit itself. You can slide your hand in there and you can then tighten that or loosen that with this little slider here, which is really nice and simple. Now, my favorite part of this is that I could have that on my wrist and the camera unit here, and if I accidentally drop that, it just pulls tight, okay? I don't need to worry about someone yanking that off my hand or it falling with a lens on it and it's like I don't want the strap to slide off. It will pull tight and it will not slide off the end of my wrist. So I can then loosen that and then take my hand out if I need to. I'm also using an L bracket attached to my Nikon Z6 currently to attach to my tripod. And that's made by a three-legged thing. It's a universal L bracket. It's particularly useful for me if I'm switching between different camera bodies all the time to have an L bracket that will fit most camera units. The tripod I'm using is a tripod by a company called Photo Pro. Really nice carbon fiber tripod, extremely lightweight for how much weight it will take. Really heavy duty. Currently using it to record this video. I've removed the center column as well because I want to try and get it as low as possible. It's a new tripod to me. I've not had a massive amount of use with it yet, but everything I've been shooting here has been shot on that tripod. Some really nice long exposures, everything is nice and steady. And the ball head is an absolute dream to use. Has loads of different functions, has a really nice quick release that I can then release the ball head with and then apply pressure back on just if I want to increase friction or not. It has a separate pan lock, and it also has a video lock if I want to then lock tilting, so it won't tilt from left to right and I can have it then tilt just vertically if I need to. Overall, I've been extremely happy with the tripod so far. I'll be doing some more videos around in-depth kit and what tripods I'm using, that type of thing. One last thing, always carry with me, especially in hot climates, lots and lots and lots of silica gel just to absorb moisture. In my camera bag, I have these in my inserts as well, just in case. Any other questions you get or anything else you want me to talk about, then please do ask in the comments below. Obviously, I'm going to be doing lots more videos from Singapore around about the cityscape photography that I've taken, some of the wildlife photography that I've taken. So please do subscribe, keep an eye out for some of that stuff. All the shots, as I've mentioned, are going to be taken on the Z6 and the Z7. And I'll also have a final Z6 versus Z7 kind of video talking about which one you should buy, which is best at what type of thing after my experience of shooting with them over the past couple of months. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you all soon.
Next level.